Can crypto save the US dollar? Can crypto save the Americans' belief in the dollar? Eric Trump says yes. We're going to look at that today. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the BitBoy Morning Show. It is me, your host, the BitBoy. And one second here. Switch up with the Phemex. Someone up here today. Guys, don't forget about our Phemex trading competition. It's going on until the end of the month. It's going on until October 15th. It's going on for another month. We've only been doing it for a few days now. Started on the 15th. So you got plenty of time to get in. Of course, you can find those links down below in the description. Click more if you need to on mobile. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. What is happening on the markets? Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. All right, let's get going here. Okay. I've got a trade right now going on here with Phemex, as you guys can see. I'm up about $1,000 or so, so doing okay. I'm in a short right now on Bitcoin. So in the competition, I'm obviously wanting to be careful with trades, but there's an upside to having higher volume there during the contest. You can win an iPhone Max 16, iPhone 16 Pro Max. That's how it is, i16 Pro Max. So I got that going on. But of course, we're going to start here looking at CoinGecko. Market's looking pretty healthy today. $4.208 trillion. 24-hour volume, 217 billion. A lot of volume today. 55.6% dominance and 13.2% for Ethereum. Now, the reason why this volume number is higher is because of what happened yesterday. The volatility of the market. Sorry about that. The volatility of the market is at highs around the time that speech happens, which was 2:30 yesterday. And we'll talk more about what Jerome Powell said in this video. And we're going to look at the percentage chance that we're going to get, some more rate cuts this year. So, okay. So Bitcoin coming in at 117,426 at the moment. Ethereum at 4,595 over the last 7 days. Both performed pretty well. 3% for Bitcoin, 7% for Ethereum. Whenever you see this number is higher than this number, then you know that Ethereum is eating away Bitcoin's dominance. Then you got XRP here. It had a pretty good day yesterday as well at 3.2%. Binance Coin doing well at 993. The thing's going to touch 1,000. It's at all-time highs right now, I'm pretty sure. If not, it's very, very, very close. Definitely new highs. They're going to break $1,000. That's big news. Solana up 38% for the week, coming in at 248.61. Dogecoin, we got some news on Dogecoin today. The launch of their ETP, I believe it is. I don't think it's ETF. It's a ETP, which is ETP is like exchange traded product, and then it's got several subheadings under that. That's what an ETF, an exchange traded fund, is what that stands for. Cardano coming in at 92 cents, up 5% for the last week, but only up 0.1% for the last month. Tron, people really only care about Tron for its use in the stablecoin world. Chainlink, up 1%, but up 3.5% for the day. So that's pretty good. Or no, I'm sorry, 6.6% for the day. 6.6% for the day. For the week, 3.5%, and for the 30 days, the month, up 1%. Hyperliquid continuing its drive to the top of the market. I mean, when this thing launched, people had no idea how fast this thing would be moving. It's in exchange, so it's doing very well. SWE coming in at 392. A lot of good stuff for SWE. We looked at a story earlier this week about how they partner with Google for that special payments protocol. After that, you got Avalanche coming in at 32.94. And I mean, the top 10 altcoins, not including wrapped or stable coins, is Hyperliquid is number 10 now. So that's really crazy, in my opinion. 1 Ethereum, 2 XRP, 3 BNB, 4 Solana, 5 Dogecoin, 6 Cardano, 7 Tron, 8 Chainlink, Hyperliquid number 9. And so we coming in at number 10, actually, that is. Maybe I miscounted yesterday, or did I leave Tron out when I said all those numbers? Okay. I can't remember if I did or not. So let's look at the top gainers of the day. Immutable X having a big week, up 53%, and up 53%. I'm going to keep an eye on my trade up here as well. Pudgy Penguins up 17.3%. Avalanche 11.7%. Near 11.2%. Mantle 10.5%. Sweet up 10%. How about that? Okay, so these are all double-digit gainers for the day, and that's pretty good to have this many all the way. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 coins above 10% gains for the day. So that is very, very, very bullish. See what's going on over here in the chat. What price do I think Crow will hit the peak of this bull run? Well, let's go look at CRO. And guys, it really just depends on, what kind of bull run are we getting here? Chronos here, CRO. It's up 70% for the month, down 5% for the week, up 6% for the day. So what price do I think it can hit? Well, you look at the volume here, the market cap. Market cap is 8.45 billion. 8.45 billion. So if it were to 4x to $1, that would put it at 32 billion, which is about where Tron and Cardano are at. Can Chainlink 2x to get to where they're at is a good question as well. So I think Chainlink and CRO and SWE are all poised for big moves here. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I think our top coin videos, if I did a top coin video today or tomorrow or sometime, the coins we're looking at are much different, in my opinion, now. But I think it could go. I think it could go maybe to $1, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if there's any other good questions. Market looks good. Low caps looking Cindy AF. I believe that is true. I did not buy Aster. I saw some people talking about it, but I did not. Okay. Don't shield coins. I mean, like, you don't want top coins lists. BitBoy, good to see you back. Many feel the bull run to be over in 3 months. Do you feel the same? Are we near the top? I feel like I talk about this about every day at some point. No, I don't think we're near the top. I think we still have one more push to all-time highs, if not 2 more. And I think the bull run is going to go into 2026. I'm now a believer in that theory. Just all the institutional stuff just makes it where if we get upside, then there's no reason to think that it's not going to boom. And I think Bitcoin could be heading very soon back to all-time highs. Not today. I got a short in today. Hope it doesn't do it today. But before we hit all-time highs, we've got to have liquidity suck. We've got to have the volume shrink. I think we need people taking money out of the markets in order to build the momentum to go above the numbers where we've been at. So everything depends on, it just depends on, are we getting an altcoin season? I haven't seen so many people talking about an altcoin season since 2017. I mean, everybody is saying, oh, altcoins are going to rip. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Well, guys, they are right now. They're starting to rip right now. If you look at some of the gains, that MyX that was up like 1,100% for the month or whatever. We can click on that one real quick.
Is MyX a microcap though?
No, not anymore. It's not.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Altcoin season is here right now. You just have to catch the coins. It is coming in at number 58 right now. So it was a coin that was not on anybody's radar, and now it has just absolutely killed it. Could be gearing up for another run up. But I think, like I said, I think the reason I'm down right now on Bitcoin, the reason why I'm a little bit bearish is just because, you know, BTC XRP Sol and Doge resume slow grind. This is why it's a slow grind back to all-time highs. I feel like I don't feel like it's going to be overnight. We'll look at this story. We'll look at the Bitcoin chart in just a second. But analysts told CoinDesk earlier this week the major cryptos led by Bitcoin would resume their slow grind higher after Wednesday's rate cut. It's exactly what has happened since the Fed cut rates by 25 basis points to 4% late Wednesday. The central bank also hinted rapid easing in the next 12 months. So that's good news. Bitcoin leading crypto by market value topped 117,900, the highest level since August 17th, and ending the sideways trend since Friday and resuming the slow recovery from early September lows near $107,200. Wow, I can't even remember it hitting that. I guess that was a month ago. As of writing, the crypto was up nearly 1% on a 24-hour basis. Ethereum's token was up 2.7%. Sorry, excuse me. Got to drink that coffee. But remained locked within the 4-week-long narrowing price range or contracting triangle. Other major players, Dogecoin up, Solana up, and BNB up, all up 4%, while the payments-focused crypto XRP trade nearly 3% higher. So XRP Army, where are you? Programmable blockchain Solana's Sol token briefly topped 245, also testing the weekend high. So it's definitely doing pretty well. So I wanted to look at that before we come over here and start looking at the charts. I'm on the 5-minute chart. Good Lord. Let's go to the daily. Something really interesting on the daily here. It's hard to see. And this really will speak to the volatility of what we've been experiencing. It goes red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot. So I think the move up might have already happened. So, and so we're going to pull out and look at the top part here in a second. But let's see if we can find something similar. Oh, yeah, look at that. That is a good spot right there. Because look, the last time that we got this pattern, the green dot, red dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot. And they also had another pair or another red and green right there. The last time it did that, it jumped from around 108 all the way up to all-time highs, 124. So are we seeing the same thing right now? Because we've got the exact same formation on the, not exact same. This one's got one day in the middle that it didn't do anything, which would have been around beginning of July. So overall, I think we're bullish, and I think that a lot of this is going to turn out to be really, really good for us, as long as you're not a bear. However, as you can see, as you can see up here on the top, let me get rid of that. A little better to look at. You know, we've had this support line at about 118,000 drawn for a while. And you look, and it basically just all but dinked off of that. So I think we're going to have probably some downward motion, maybe back down to 1300s, and then build back up and go up. A lot of people are calling for much lower numbers, by the way. A lot of people are calling for 108, even retesting $100,000. I don't see that. I see a lot of volatility right now. I see a lot of people trading. I see the volume going up. So, I mean, today we were at a high for the last, decent bit of time, as well as the market cap and at $4.21 trillion. We pointed out a little bit earlier. We hit the refresh on that, right? A little bit different. 4.211 trillion in market cap. So, anyways, I think things with Bitcoin are looking pretty good. But I think if I were to take a longer short right now, I obviously have taken a short, as you can see. I'm pretty sure that this is going to go back down underneath 117 at least. We'll see what happens. But if you guys want to trade, don't forget you can trade on Phemex. I've got the banner right up top that you guys can see. Get the URL. Go there, and you can even join our contest. We got a trading contest going on right now. Phemex is down below in the description. So if you're following on Twitter, just go to the website that's above, and you can get to the trading competition. Okay, all right. So I think right now all eyes are on Bitcoin because we need Bitcoin to, and maybe it'll level off here, and it won't have a major downswing. But either way, I think Bitcoin is primed to go up in the next week or two. So there you go. We've also got news coming out here. Eric Trump says crypto can save the US dollar. How about this, guys? What do you think? Because even though we'll look at the Fed meeting stuff in just a second, but even that it was more hawkish than I would like it to be. We are easing rates, but yet the dollar is still losing value. The dollar is weakening. We can go here and look at, let's see. Guys, I cannot remember what it is. Somebody put the ticker symbol. Do you know the ticker symbol for the US dollar? Can you look it up for me? See if somebody will put it in the chat. Doom says he's bullish on it. There you go. Yeah. I could not. I just couldn't remember it. I had, yeah. So you can look here and see, as long as the dollar is weakening, I mean, that's good for crypto. I mean, if you were to match this with Bitcoin, it'd probably be the opposite. There's an inverse relationship here. When this is in the green, Bitcoin's usually in the red. When it's the opposite way, then Bitcoin's usually in the green. Or Bitcoin's in the red if the DXY is green. And it works the exact opposite way as well. So it has gone from 110.426 all the way back down to 9630. This reminds me of when we were in COVID, right? Or where we were. Let's see here. Yeah, or right after COVID is when. No, that's not really after COVID. I think it actually started near. Yeah, it started dropping down to low levels in between Thanksgiving and the New Year, or September and the New Year. But you can go and you can watch Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is reversed during these times. So the fact that, like today, for instance, the DXY is in the green, that means probably today that I believe we will see some red for Bitcoin. So let's get into this a little bit. He says he predicts inflow of digital asset wealth from overseas would bolster U.S. currency. Eric Trump has said growing demand for cryptocurrencies could save the U.S. dollar, and it is almost like I said this exact same thing, and I've been saying it since 2018. I've been saying crypto can save the dollar the whole time. People, they want to believe that the dollar is dead and we're going to see something else. I don't think we're going to see that for quite a while. But I do believe that at some point, we will be basically completely over to digital dollars. And I don't know when that's going to happen. I always thought maybe USDC was aiming at maybe becoming the basically taking over as the new US dollar, but I don't think it's going to happen anymore.
They're coming out with new stable coins.
Yeah, coming out with a bunch of new stable coins, including one of the ones, I think it's in this article. I'll just wait till I get to that part. The president's son, prominent crypto advocate, told the Financial Times that the digital assets boom would channel trillions from around the world in wonky currencies towards the U.S. Mining Bitcoin here and being financially independent and running a kind of financial revolution out of the United States of America, I think it arguably saves the U.S. dollar. This was exactly what I've been saying forever. He was speaking on Tuesday hours after they opened his new company, the stock side of it, American Bitcoin. ABTC is the ticker for that. That was on NASDAQ's floor. celebrating the month's market debut for the coin, or the stock, excuse me, where Eric Trump has a stake worth more than $500 million. What is MN? Why did they put MN? Why is that short for million now? Don't you just need an M? I think people would know what it was. I don't know what MN stands for. Trump's comments come after the U.S. dollar has fallen sharply this year. They're talking about the dollar getting weaker due to the trade war and repeated attacks on the Federal Reserve, which Wednesday cut rates. We'll talk about that later, very soon, but later. The U.S. currency has also been hit by concerns over America's debt pile, which is expected to swell further as a result of the landmark tax bill. So the president has argued for sharply lower interest rates since he took office, and previously said you make a hell of a lot more money with a weak dollar than you do with a strong dollar. And in crypto, that is for sure. In the world of Bitcoin, that is for sure. It's an inverse relationship. He wanted to make America the crypto capital of the world and has encouraged a light touch regulatory environment for digital assets. Let's see here. They launched those meme coins, Melania and Trump. He said they were just having fun. I mean, why not? Everybody's having fun, right?
Took a lot of money out of the market.
Yeah. You got to think about that. If they're getting billions out of the market, then where's it coming from?
Us.
Yeah, us. It's almost like the ultimate revenge against the big banks, which I also agree with. You realize you just don't need them, and frankly, you don't miss them when you're using crypto. So he was referring to all of Wall Street's biggest leaders as well as their top people. U.S. banking executives fear that stablecoins will suck money away from the traditional banking system if they offer better yield. So what do you guys think about that? Let me know. So, this is just one of these things. Of course, WorldFi is where, they've taken out $3 billion from the market going into their coin. It's still on the market per se, but WLFi tokens. We're gonna cover that one on a deep dive at some point. Eric Trump also said, if my father cared about monetizing his life, the last thing he would have done is run for president, where all we've done is unmonetize our life.
That's so fucking stupid. I fucking hate that they say that shit. How much money they've taken?
Billions?
Billions.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So there you go. And there's your DXY. All right. Okay, now on to Mr. Jerome Powell, who I still, no matter how tall he is, he's 6'1", I think. He still looks like a Christmas elf to me. One of Santa's elves. That's what he looks like. That's my opinion. Fed cut rate and risk management move as Bitcoin eyes possible upside. Federal Reserve cut its benchmark Fed funds rate by 25,000 basis points to 4 to 4.25%. Its first reduction since December. This move came as signs of a cooling economy have mounted in recent weeks. Bitcoin rose about 1% in the minutes following the widely expected decision. Federal Reserve has turned to easing mode after 10 months of taking a wait-and-see approach on the U.S. economy. It's widely expected, blah, 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 to the lowest since December 2022 when they were bringing it up. I don't know who this guy is. Not sure. They want me to watch this video, and I refuse. The Fed acknowledged that economic growth in the first half of the year moderated and the job market has slowed. So I'll just tell you kind of, as I was listening to it yesterday, I was listening to his speech, and I was not incredibly bullish on what he was saying. It kind of seemed like he was saying, we need to wait. We need to stop and wait and look at all the numbers coming in before we make the decision. Whereas we were hoping he would just be like, yeah, we're going to get 3 more rate cuts, two more rate cuts this year. So if you go to the FedWatch tool for the next meeting, this is what they've got it at. They've got an 85.5% chance of another rate cut. And then they've got a 14.5% chance of no rate cut. Now, if we were betting people in crypto, which we are, you would look at that 14.5% and say that's a very, very low number. Like 1 out of every, 6.5 times maybe? I think that would be what that works out to. 6.5 times we would have a meeting 5.5 of those times we would basically get a raise. So I think you can say that we are going to get, or excuse me, a cut, not a raise, a cut. So 14.5% would be leave it where it is. And then so if you go from here onto the next date, which would be in December, you look and see it's a 77% chance that we get another cut, assuming we already got this cut. And it's 21.2% in bips is what is a 20% chance that we're not getting 3 rate cuts this year. That's basically what they're saying here. A 23% chance overall. Only a 1.5% chance for us not to get some kind of raise by this December meeting. But the numbers are really strong that we're probably going to get 3 in a row. Let's see what this one is. Now you start getting into, okay, where are we going to get 4 in a row? Well, 38% says yes. Are we going to get a pause in January? 50% says yes. And then 50% is not something where you feel strongly about it. What's funny about, well, no, that's the majority. You do feel strongly about it is what I was saying. But with this number, 38.2%, these numbers are close enough. You could say this is probably about a dead heat right now, in my opinion. We could get 4 in a row. That would tick us down a full percentage point over the next 4 months. So that's bullish, and we keep going. Let's go look at March. Let's just see for fun what March says. A 20% chance that we would get another drop down to 3.25. I don't think we're going to get 5 in a row. I think getting 4 in a row would be massive because that's a whole percent. And I think we're not going to see rates cut more than 25 bips every time. So there you go. Let's just be super degenerate. Let's just keep going. A 5% chance that we get 6 in a row. So if we were betting and I said, hey, we got a 5.3% chance that we're going to get 5 or 6 cuts in a row, how would you guys feel about that? Would you feel like this is our odds you want to take? I don't think so. I don't think anybody would want to take those odds. So we're basically looking at January is really the key. Will we see one in January? Because you see, as it's almost 50-50 here, 50-38, I think what you and these people down here, I think, to believe that we're only going to get 1 cut between now and then or something like that. These two numbers right here are close enough that it's not priced in. What does that mean? What does it mean when we say something that's priced in? Well, when you have a 96% chance that something was going to happen, like we had going into this meeting, a 96% chance of a 25 bip cut like we got, that gets priced into the market, meaning people expect it. So whenever people feel strongly enough that it's going to happen, that's when the move actually happens. It doesn't happen when the actual the day of the meeting or anything like that. We actually saw a big dump yesterday, and now we're slowly grinding back up. And that is because this meeting was not, we could have seen more bullishness today, but this meeting was not that bullish or hawkish. No, excuse me. It was very hawkish in my opinion. Some people say that it was dovish in their opinion, at least to some. I'd say it's pretty neutral, really. If we were really going to say what it was pretty neutral. I think in the speech, I missed the very, very beginning, but I believe that they did mention more rate cuts, I think. Don't hold me to that. But everybody still believes that 3 rate cuts are on the board here by the end of the year. So there you go. Rebel Boss says XRP ETS likely this year. How about that? Inclusion in U.S. crypto stockpile high. The inclusion of XRP in the White House crypto stockpile appears to be a certain, according to Brad Garlinghouse. He says this is happening for sure. He says that XRP is poised to be part of the U.S. government's digital asset stockpile, adding that an ETF launch is expected before the year end. It's October, November. I think we get that. We'll get the actual exact date out of this article, I think. In the Biden administration, we couldn't get a meeting in the White House, and now we're welcomed in. That's what Brad Garlinghouse said. Noting the numerous applications from the likes of Franklin Templeton and many others, he expressed immense confidence that a spot XRP ETF will be launching in 2025. The XRP token is riding high, having jumped 438% in value over the past year. It's trading up today marking a 3.9 increase. Following his attendance at Washington Senate Banking Committee's roundtable meeting on the all-encompassing market structure bill, the Clarity Act, Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson spoke very highly of Ripple. Wow. He shouted out the XRP Army, praising the Ripple folks as well as venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz for their policy contributions at the meeting. So there you go. Some bullish XRP news from my XRP Army people. Let's go check what's going on here. Oh, we got a super chat, actually. Sucks is from Doom. We will have to wait until May 2026 to get rid of Jerome Powell. That's when he legally has to leave the chair, but yet he can stay on the board for 2 years after that. Well, we just don't want to be in the chair. You can say the chair is going to be the person that makes all the calls. I mean, I don't think we're going to see any kind of dissension in the Federal Reserve anymore. I think it's going to have to get bullish after Jerome Powell leaves. We get a new chair, and it'll be somebody that's bullish. I'm very, very confident in that. Here's a super chat. There it was. There's another super chat. This is a tough game. Decide, take action, get results, analyze, adjust, recommit, and repeat. He who quits cannot win. He who persists cannot lose. I think, yeah, but I'm seeing something in crypto. I'm seeing something in crypto that we haven't really seen before right now. We're looking at one side is the pump.fun side, which is just totally degenerate, and people basically in an online casino that's getting like covered up with snipers and bots and all those kinds of things. And then on the other side, we're extremely institutional, where we're talking about the president, the White House, and regulations and ETFs and things like that. There doesn't seem to be a lot in the middle right now for coins that are like, let's say 20 through 100. They're either, it's almost like they're either a dying coin or they're in this group of institutional coins. And when they're out of that, the institutional coins or the exchange game, it's hard for me to say what coins are going to do well at this point, to be honest with you. It's hard to know, hard to tell. Why don't ever talk about H-bar? Look, let's go see. Let's take a look at H-bar. See where it is. H-bar, I for a long time put it kind of in the Algorand kind of basket of coins. I think it may have had its chance. It's up 116% since it launched. The good thing, I would say the good thing about H-bar is it's not too far from its all-time high. It could get back to its all-time high. But right now it's coming in number 25. So I guess I would have to say I hold it in higher esteem than I hold Algorand now. Algorand's in like, 75 or something we looked at the other day. Hedera's got a lot of corporate partners, and I think that has an institutional partners. I think it can keep it going. But if it doesn't make a new all-time high in the cycle, I don't think it's probably going to ever again. So, and that is the tale of a lot of coins that are on the top 100. If they are not within striking distance of an all-time high right now, I don't think they're going to hit it. I think that you got to be near that all-time high if you want to, have another go. CRO is one that CRO and Chainlink are two that I think all-time high is reachable, much more reachable for Chainlink than CRO. CRO does have a shot. But I guess, look, when you're in the top 25, that's with like 10 stable coins in there in wrapped assets. So you're really closer to number 15. And I think that stays in a range that it still has hope. But H-bar to me is not that interesting right now. It hasn't been. I don't know, what coins are interesting to you guys? That's a good question. I mean, because Dogecoin, how about Dogecoin? Is ETF to begin trading in watershed moment for pro crypto SEC. The Rex Osprey, is it Osprey or Osprey? I'm going to say Osprey. Uh-oh. There's a cat right now. Get out. Get out. I know, he's deaf. He can't hear. Well, you can't even see him. Here, whip your tail up. Up down. Okay. AVNT, exactly. That's one that's interesting, AVNT. I have to look a little more into that, but it's been running the last couple weeks, I think, or a couple days. What's my outlook for Edge? I have no idea. I haven't actually heard of it. He's something. Okay. Yeah, guys, hit the like button. Smash the like button. Okay, we'll get a little more into this. The first meme coin-backed exchange-traded fund is set to begin trading on Thursday after U.S. regulators waved through a fund holding Dogecoin, an asset originally created as a joke with no fundamental value or use case. The listing is the last step in the evolution of ETFs beyond diversified plain vanilla stock and bond funds to riskier holdings such as cryptocurrencies, complex derivatives, and thematic fads, pushing the boundaries of what regulators originally envisioned for the fund structure. This guy says, I think it's dangerous. It normalizes collectibles. Seems to be a fad, like Beanie Babies or baseball cards. Well, I mean, what is not a fad per se over the long run? I mean, how many companies on the stock market are 100 years old? You know, things rotate, things change. A lot of things change. It creates confusion for investors. They would probably assume Dogecoin has some economic value because it's wrapped inside an ETF. Just because something is wrapped in an ETF doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere. I don't know if you heard of Labubu. I guess they're Chinese dolls, probably similar to Beanie Babies, something like that. Let's see. Unlike cryptos such as Bitcoin and Ether, which are created with use cases in mind, meme coins have no such underpinnings. They're often created as jokes or more of an embodiment of a strand of online community engagement. And that's Pump.Fun is what it is, basically. Pump.Fun has so many meme coins, but when you go there, there's so much going on the screen, it's hard to look away. It's like a casino. Yeah, it's like a casino. So, all right. Last story of the day. Regulatory clarity could drive 40% of Americans to adopt DeFi protocols, survey shows. Survey reveals 42% of Americans would try DeFi protocols once crypto privacy regulations are established, with majority seeking financial control outside of traditional banking. Over 40% of Americans express willingness to use DeFi protocols once regulatory clarity on crypto privacy emerges. It revealed that many Americans feel frustrated with traditional financial institutions. They believe that DeFi can deliver this change by providing affordability, equity, and consumer protection. Survey was conducted in this, it doesn't really matter where it was conducted in New York. 42% of Americans indicated they would like to try DeFi if proposed legislation becomes law. That's 9% very likely and 33% somewhat likely. 84% said they would use it to make purchases online, while 78% would use it to pay bills. I don't know. I don't know about that. That seems very high. Because, I mean, how many people are actually making purchases with crypto? 4 in 10 Americans believe DeFi can address high transaction and service fees found in traditional finance. So nearly a quarter of Americans said that they're interested to learn more about non-traditional forms of finance, such as blockchain, crypto, or DeFi. That right there is exactly why you guys should be hitting the like button so more people see these live streams, so people can, really understand more about crypto, so they can use it if they want to. I mean, to me, the fact that 22% are interested, but they don't know much about it, that's good reason to tell your friends about crypto. So, all right, guys. Let's look at the chat here. We're talking about Talbot, Pinlink. I haven't heard of that, actually. Aave, BitTensor, Link, Pinlink, Maple Finance, Ondo, Solana, Talbot. Okay, those are some that I can look at. I mean, I know about Aave, BitTensor, Link, Maple Finance, Ondo, Solana. I don't know about Talbot or Pinlink. Those are 2 I could look into, I guess. So, all right, guys. I really appreciate everybody for coming on the show today, and we'll see you guys later. Be blessed. BitBoy out.